Welcome back to tonight's sad reality. Now, I had a pretty garbage day at work today, so I'm not even sure how much I'm really gonna be talking tonight, but I got home, and then the first thing I did was honestly just like watch YouTube for hours and hours. Of course, I did hang out with friends on Discord, but man, am I tired after today. It has been a day, let me tell you. At our store today, it was a $50,000 day, which means not only did we do probably like 30,000 more than we normally do, but it was to the point where I think everyone was kind of going crazy. Like, I don't think anyone was really smiling by the end. It had just been so much. I think everyone felt not only overworked, but most of us just didn't have that many good experiences with customers or any of that. And we're just all tired by the end, you know? And I think it's fine to not have good days. That's why I'm making this video and this channel exists. This is decompression, right? Not everything can be good, and that is totally fine. I think that's kind of the way the world works, you know? But I think what's important in that is finding some way of kind of seeing some release in that, you know? Whether that does mean friends or anything else. And it's funny too, because I think people kind of understand that, and something my dad said the other night that I found really interesting. He said, joy multiplies and misery kind of divides, or whatever. I'm like, what do you think that possibly means? Well, it's not those emotions themselves, it has to do with what they do among friends. You know, you share hurt among other people, and joy you celebrate with other people. Now, envy kind of gets in the way of celebrating with other people, and, you know, misery, gloom, and doom kind of gets in the way of being sad with other people sometimes. But, I think there's a place for it in just about everything, if that makes sense. I don't really know how to explain it. But so today I was asking one of my coworkers, or I guess more formerly my manager, I was like, hey, so why are you still here? Like, not in like a mean way or anything, just like, what keeps you going? You know? Because there have been so many experiences that we've had today that were just awful, you know? So many customers that I'm just like, wow, I don't really enjoy this, you know? And she saw a lot of it as well. And she was like, you know, I really don't know. I think a big part of it is, well, actually, she didn't say should know. She said, honestly, it's fear of change. Just blatantly, it's fear of change. I'm like, honestly, I kind of like that because it's blunt, it's honest, it's to the point, you know? And I think that's kind of the case for a lot of people. It's hard to figure things out. I mean, even for me, like, my parents were like, dude, you should talk to your boss because clearly you're a little stressed out or whatever. I'm like, maybe. And kind of the response I'm expecting is, I've worked here for like 32 years. Yeah, customers are gonna suck. Like, everyone at the store kind of unanimously agrees on this, you know? But yet we're also here doing the same thing day after day. And I guess we're afraid of ever asking for anything more or changing anything. But it's funny too, because he's always came up to me and he's been like, hey, how you doing? And most of the time his customers are like, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, great, it's been a great day. And I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. But I feel like everyone kind of knows that as well. I mean, even like the small things, because the same people that'll ask you like, hey, how's your day been? Will immediately afterwards be like, can I speak to a manager if you're not letting me return these shoes that I've clearly worn for like a week or whatever? I mean, I love people that suck up. They're like, hey, hope you're doing well, man. I just need to make this tiny return, you know, $300 of shoes. That I also wore for like 2 weeks, you know, lovely stuff like that, you know, and, oh boy, like, I understand stuff like that. I hate corporate greed as much as the next person, but I also don't like it when people take advantage of a system that, like, clearly it's very well outlined, everyone kind of understands it, and then even going so far beyond that as to, like, put people against each other. Like, I know there are customers that, like, we tell no, so then go over to another employee and be like, hey, can I do this? And someone who's either uninformed or in training will be like, yeah, sure. Just thinking it's honest customer service. And no, it's hurting the store. It's hurting us, and it's hurting our mental that we see people do that and like they're so two-faced to like pretend to care about you and the next second be like, I don't want your opinion, I want the opinion of someone less informed specifically so I can get my way. You know, to me, I'm just like, why? Why? I mean, I know why. Like, people want what they want, and you know, I'm not gonna. I mean, I'm gonna deny them what they want. At least, the best of my ability, do what I know to be right, and that's do everything I can in my power. That is defending the rules that I'm taught and doing things for my boss, you know? I mean, I know everyone's like, well, be a free thinker, you know, do other things. And I'm like, yeah, but in that free thinking, I decide I want to follow the rules because I think that is the right thing to do. And not everyone's perfect. My boss isn't perfect. Nobody's perfect. But I think it's a system I'm happy enough with, knowing that I got a job, I'm lucky to have a job, and the rest from there, I don't really know much else to say after that. That's just, I think the rules kind of have to be upheld in order to keep living, in order for things to work. Like, I can hate the government as much as the next person, you know? But at the end of the day, we kind of need these things, and it's for the betterment of society, you know? It's kind of funny, too. I have this friend who's, like, super anarchist. He's like, yeah, government sucks, all this. And I'm like, yeah, but do we really think we can do things on our own? Like, if we truly are free thinkers, could we all not be self-employed, freelance, get around, do all this other stuff? And I'm like, maybe some of us could, but I don't know if everyone could, you know? I think there are some people that need guidance, that need leadership, that need a boss in their lives in order to have some sort of stability. I don't know if I'm one of those people, or if that just means I need a set of rules to follow as guidance or whatever. I mean, I feel like that also kind of goes back to core principles as like a person of just how much guidance we need in order to grow up or to live or to figure things out, you know? And certainly some of the customers could use a lot of it some days. But this kind of goes back to that first video I made where I'm just like, hey, you know what, your voice is a gift. And sure, sometimes it's not always great things to say or things that are always happy, cheery. And even if every time you say, hey, how's your day been? You just say, hey, it's been pretty good, you know? Even if that's a bit of a lie, it's at least an attempt at saying, okay, well, I'm here and trying to make things move on. If decompressing in this video is... if it means anything, it's just like having these conversations, whether it be with myself or anyone who listens, watches, figure things out as well. It's kind of the greater meaning behind all of it. So, I don't know. I feel like I can keep talking, but I'm also not entirely sure. These videos have always had such a weird flow to it. And recently, it's funny, so last night, obviously I recorded super late, barely got there in time, and I think technically it wasn't even in time. I think it was 12 a.m., which is, guess what? The next day. Is the streak broken? I guess. I don't know, my heart is not really, but I guess it's broken. But I'm here this time, 11 p.m. Not perfect, but it's going. And as long as it's going, that's good, I think. So, never want that to die. At least it's things within our control that we have the ability to think about and persevere in our endeavor of doing. Words from a 21-year-old. Is this like slam poetry to anyone else? I don't know. So something I was worried about when I first started YouTube is like, how real is too real? Do people want someone that is real? Do they want someone that's a little bit more fake but humorous? I mean, like, the internet kind of thrives off this idea of like trolling or changing your personality slightly for humor. I mean, comedy is this idea of like, it's the truth that makes things funny in some way, but at the same time it's like, well, I'm sure the comedians, whatever, you know, you're an asshole to one person, you're not always that way in real life. For the people that know you closely, don't know you as a jokester, they know you have a little more feelings and depth to that. In fact, I know some comedy enjoyers, you know, there's a lot of emotions behind all that, which I find interesting. And I guess by comparison, that's very true for all the things that go on at work, because, oh my gosh, there's so much. And it really makes me wonder what makes, like, my boss tick, what makes these people persist, and what they're able to do, and if they enjoy it, if they don't enjoy it, why they keep doing it. How much does money actually mean to us, you know? Like, there's all these things that I don't really know. In fact, too, it's kind of funny. So, I had a thing in mail today, and it was, car insurance renewal? No. License registration, basically you have to go past inspection and pay fees for owning a car or something. Love the government, by the way, huge fan of paying fees for nothing. Kind of like the mass amount of debt and then like us paying money on things we're not buying, we're just paying basically to keep not paying everything back in full. I don't know how accurate that is. I know very little about American geopolitics, that's funny. But regardless, back to that. So, I have to do like $300 in like car fees and inspection and all that. And I'm like, oh, that's fine. I'm probably gonna do that within the next week. And I never really thought about that as something, but hey, this is like life moves on, you know? It's $300 you gotta spend doing that. I'm like, yeah, that's a great way to get home and see that on your doorstep, your dinner table, or whatever. I didn't know where I was going with that, I just know there was a story to it, and, yeah. The little things between the big things that make life move on. Also, I love the music in the background of this. I know these games are kind of cozy, they're chill, it's just, you know, move your mouse around and color or make things exist, I guess. And to me, it's always been kind of stupid. At the same time, same way, like, I enjoy idle games, but I also find this really stupid because it's kind of solved in the sense of, like, there's math, you can do these, there's things in, like, an optimized way. But how far do you take it? It's like Minecraft Sandbox, where it's just like, you can do this, you can go way beyond what most people do, you can just build a basic house, go fight the Ender Dragon, call it there. But there's kind of got to be some intricacy, some depth to it in order for people to still be playing it today, you know? And I guess that's kind of where creativity comes and how people find ways to enjoy things that would, to some people, some morons like myself, find kind of mundane, you know? So. Good job to Toasty Labs for making these games, they're chill. I'm actually probably going to make on the main channel like a top 10. These are my top 10 games of the year, and I don't think this game will be on it, but I think the coloring genre might be a part of it. I don't know if I'll put coloring pixels on there or whatever. But yeah, so. I think that's about it for everything that's been kind of floating through my head. Trying to not keep this too long so that I actually am able to post before midnight tonight without upload times killing it. My internet just took a dump last night. Not happy with me. I was like, okay, well, kind of learned my lesson there. You gotta get burned once to realize that fire's hot, so. I suppose I'll cut this here. Thanks for watching, have a fantastic rest of your night, and I hope the ramblings of a slowly delirious and very, very tired 21-year-old brightens someone's day. I don't know. Have a good rest of your night, thanks for watching.